Love this podcast? Support us by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Hit the link in the episode description to support us now. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Welcome, everybody. I am back, and I'm just in time for us to bid adieu for our summer break for this this quarter, this second third of the year's recap.
It's been what's it called? It's been 12 episodes, so that would justify a quarter.
Yeah. Okay. So another quarter. We're probably only going to do this 3 times a year, so it's technically not a quarter, but whatever. So welcome to the second recap of 2022, where we're going to recap the last 12 episodes that we covered. I'm Nicole,
and I'm Rolando,
and this is Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals,
an original podcast
about unoriginality. And as always, we are joined by Eddie Z.
Hey, everyone.
And I feel like it's been a while since it's been the three of us. Hasn't it?
No. Didn't we just do Elvis like 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Well, last week was Obi-Wan, which I was not there for, and we did some Butthead Eddie wasn't there for. So about 3 days we did Elvis.
Yeah. The last one was Elvis, right?
Yeah. So we've been kind of all over the place this quarter because we started off without
Summer,
you. Yeah.
Right. Where was I?
You had COVID.
Oh, was that what? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we did 12 episodes, guys. We did 3 TV shows we covered, 8 movies, and we did 1 special. Our return from our spring break was the Eddie and I's minisode. Then we did Firestarter, which is when I found out that I had COVID. I had a fever that whole recording. So how
appropriate.
Seriously, how fitting.
Did you finish that recording, or did you tap out and then we had to take over?
No, I finished it.
You finished it. Okay.
Yeah. So props to me.
Yeah.
Next, we did Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the Disney Plus original film.
Right.
After that, we covered Top Gun Maverick, where we should have had on Mackenzie for that one. An honorary.
I don't think Eddie Wood knew how we were gonna react, how the world was gonna react to that film.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. We still recommend that movie.
Because it's still playing in theaters, which is crazy. It's August. I'm all about that. That used to be, remember the time where movies would play for you had to wait 6 months before it became available to rent. So it stayed in theaters for a long time. And the only way to see it was to go through a theater. This is making me remember that, because if I want to see Top Gun, I still can see it again in the theater, which is, for me, exciting for Rolando at drag.
I mean, not for Top Gun.
Oh, you would see it again in the theater?
Yeah, I would consider seeing that one again.
Guys, this is how good this movie was.
Agreed.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next, we did The Time Traveler's Wife, which was a movie, but then became an HBO television show, which has sadly since been canceled.
Is it sad?
Well, I'm being nice. Next, we did Jurassic World Dominion, which we did with Mackenzie, where we covered the entire Jurassic World park franchise, thing.
Right.
And Rolando was on Pretty Much Pop discussing that.
I was a guest recently to discuss Pretty Much Pop.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I was a guest on Pretty Much Pop to discuss Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So if you want more in depth on that, you should head on over to that. Next, I solo covered Lightyear, which is appropriate if you've seen the movie, since Lightyear was very much solo the whole time. It was very much stranded, a Lightyear kind of thing. Week after.
That comes out. I think that comes out on to Disney Plus August 3rd, which is when we're recording today.
Yes.
So maybe I'll be checking that out this weekend.
Yeah,
I've yet to see it.
It's short, it's sweet, and it's see it and tell me what you think.
Okay.
I don't want to. I'm sure you didn't listen to the episode.
No.
And don't know how I think.
I
so
don't.
let me know after you watched it. Yeah, it's okay.
I'd like to be surprised.
I didn't listen to the Queer as Folk episode, which you did after that. And you guys had the special guest on.
Yes, Mike and Kyle from Gayish Podcast.
Yes, I do actually have to listen to that.
They were good. I think
that was pretty good.
We had a very, very nice, thoughtful conversation about Queer as Folk, because I was coming in hot and critical. And they are not film aficionados, right? Not that I would call myself that either, but I studied it. So they were coming in as, just general TV watchers. And I think they made me realize that as queer audiences, this is still the show itself was a net positive for queer representation. It's something that we just haven't seen before on TV. And overall, as a result, the conversation with them actually did make me change my opinion overall.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I think the show is flawed, but I think overall they're right. Like, this is a huge leap forward in queer representation.
Wow. Okay. Well, they're even convincing me to give it another try because I couldn't finish it. So.
The show itself is,
yeah. Okay.
not good at times.
Okay.
I'll admit that, but I think overall it is still
I think there's something there.
There is definitely
There's
something there that I
really-
hope that they could finesse for season 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll get back to that because we still have a couple more episodes that we had covered that we're going to talk about. One is Father of the Bride, which Eddie was not present for, so now will be a good time for him to share his thoughts if he saw the movie. After that, we covered Elvis, which was, a special episode.
No, I was
but
going to say, it's
a
like,
fun
what was
one.
the special?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the special was also the mini-sode. So.
Oh.
Then we did Beavis and Butthead, Rolando and I, and we actually had a pretty good conversation.
Shockingly long.
Shockingly, yeah, over
Conversation.
Beavis and Butthead. And last week, when I was away for work, Eddie and Rolando covered Obi-Wan, the series.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that, really actually kind of like popcorny, fun, like last quarter, I would say.
Yeah, it was summer, right?
Yes, very summery, I feel like. This is kind of like what you expect from summer content. This one definitely delivered more than the last 2 years, I would say. All right, so before we get into that, there is a bit of news that I would like to discuss. And I did listen to a little bit of last week's episode. The song goes like this, guys. Let's get some news.
Oh.
News.
Yes.
Eddie almost had it. I
almost had it. I was trying to channel Nicole.
But the news that just recently we all found out yesterday.
Right. Yesterday, I think it leaked.
Mm-hmm.
I think the official announcement comes out probably tomorrow, but yeah.
The official. Well, it's pretty official because people are posting Instagram posts.
Yeah. No, it's like official, but like I think the official announcement, what the ultimate decision is going to be, will be announced tomorrow by Warner Brothers at one of their. It's either like the shareholders meeting or they're doing like a big, like, how Disney does like the D23.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, Warner Brothers has decided after the completion of the filming and in the editing stage to shelf a whole film. They're shelving Batgirl, which, technically could have qualified for our podcast, could have united us with the Brotherhood of Batman, but it's not going to happen because we're never going to see Batgirl. It's been filmed, like literally all this money. I think it had a $90 million budget, and they still are like, we're not going to release this.
Yes.
How bad do you think this movie is?
So I don't know if necessarily it's a sign that the movie was bad, because the rationale makes sense here.
What's the rationale?
So, according to insiders, the new CEO of Discovery Warner Brothers, because they just recently merged, is really trying to streamline and cut the budget. He's tightening the belts, right, for Warner Brothers, because I think overall, as a studio, despite their strong IPs, they've been kind of not as successful as Disney, right? What's it called? They just finished this film with the $90 million production budget. He just doesn't feel like it's worth investing like another 50, 60 million to market this film, right? So it's just, in the long term, it's easier for them to count this as a loss and have it as a tax deduction in their income, in their taxes at the end of the year.
Wow.
Which means that they would not be able to they cannot turn a profit on this film. They can't release it in theaters, or they can't release it on HBO Max as a result, because that would also count as a way of profiting from the film.
So they're taking it as a loss and saying it's not worth investing more money to market it. That also is a nice way of saying that it's not very good, right?
I think it's just their way of saying, it's just like, instead of losing this $90 million that we also put into this film, we're just going to reap the benefits of a tax deduction.
Wow.
Right? So it's not like if the $90 million wasn't spent, but now at least it's $90 million deducted from their taxes. I mean, that sounds like a giant corporate tax write-off if ever there was one, but that's the state of affairs in Hollywood. And I'm sure legalese experts have more opinion, legal tax experts, which interestingly enough, I had my own tax fiasco going on today.
Oh, really?
With billing for clients and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So taxes are complicated, guys, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
But no, yeah, I think it's interesting to like just shelve a film.
Yeah,
in
so
post-production.
publicly. Yeah, like wow, really? I mean, it definitely makes one think like, gee, how bad was this movie? But you know what? I'm personally kind of glad because I need a bat break. And I kind of need there to be one bat timeline. I mean, this is a personal thing. I'm sure it's not the biggest deal in the world, but like we got the Robert Pattinson movie that came pretty quickly, in my opinion, after the closure of the Christopher Nolan bat timeline. And then we got Ben Affleck in the Justice League one,
which I would argue was much closer to the
Nolan
timeline.
Nolan, then the Justice League.
Right.
Now we got a brand new Batman timeline, and then we're gonna have a different Batman in the Flash, and then we were gonna have Michael Keaton be Batman in Batgirl. This is too many Batmans.
Well, Michael Keaton was also going to be Batman in the Flash, right? Because they've been heavily promoting that. Although I don't even know what the state of the Flash is because Ezra Miller himself has been in so much hot water, terrorizing Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Warner Brothers. I mean, look, with J.K. Rowling and the kind of, I don't know if it was a bomb, but it was not a success. The recent Harry Potter Dumbledore movie.
It was not the success they were hoping.
Yeah,
for,
and
sure.
Now with Ezra Miller and his Flash fiasco, like they're just Warner Brothers have not been having a good time. So the new CEO of Discovery, who bought up Warner Brothers, is just really trying to just steer this ship right. And he's been the CEO of Discovery for 18 years now. So like,
wow.
I mean, I think from what I've been hearing and reading, he's trying to make, interestingly enough, Discovery Plus going to be like their flagship, not HBO Max.
What?
Yeah, interesting, right? Like that's a interesting way of going. But you know what? Like,
but HBO Max has established itself as one of the top streaming services.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I'm aware,
stupid.
But you would assume it'd be why not just merge Discovery into HBO Max? But I don't know. But I think it might be an ego thing because Discovery was his company that he kind of helped bring up in the past 18 years. So
I'm already questioning his choices, but
let's see what he does.
Let's see what he does. I'm just glad that we're gonna tune it down on the bat stuff for a bit,
right?
Just a little bit.
Okay. I mean, this wasn't a movie that I was necessarily like looking forward to. I'm actually more so looking forward to Blue Beetle, which is another.
I have no idea what that is.
So Blue Beetle he's a Hispanic comic book character. He is wearing an alien suit. He fights crime. He's like a young teenager. I think Young Justice had like one of the best representations of him on television, and now he's getting adapted into a film. I think it was originally going to be a HBO Max original, but now they boosted the budget, and now it's going to be a theatrical release. But the boy from the young guy from Cobra Kai is the lead. So I'm more excited for that one, right? Because that's like a movie, that's like a character that we have not seen before in theaters.
Yeah.
And really, even unless you were like watching those cartoons, you probably haven't really seen either on TV. So
yeah, I'm totally unaware of him. I'm also unaware of Black Adam, whatever. So is that a comic book character from the books?
He's generally a villain. He plays opposite Shazam. He would be like Shazam's arch nemesis.
I see.
So how he's getting his own film where he's an anti-hero, I don't know. But I had read somewhere, I think at Comic-Con, I think they showed a screener or something, and like I think The Rock got booed.
What, really?
I think, yeah. Warner Brothers is not having a time.
Seriously, like who put a hex on Warner Brothers?
Disney.
I think so. I think they got powerful witches working.
Yeah.
For them.
That's where they put all their phantasmic magic into, you know?
I guess so. I mean, The Rock is like the biggest movie star. People love him, so I'm kind of shocked by that. But
yeah.
All right. Well, enough of superhero world news. Let's get back to the last 12 episodes that we did as a recap for this quarter of remakes, reboots, revivals. So, question: what to you was the biggest surprise in terms of the last 12 episodes? Like, what media piece was like, wow, I was not expecting to feel the way that I did about it, whether it was a good or a bad thing. What was like your biggest surprise? Yeah, you would say Top Gun?
Yeah, Top Gun was easily the biggest surprise. Did not expect to like it going in. came out loving it, ready to watch it again in theaters. Actually, this has been the movie of the summer in the fact of me telling anyone who hasn't seen it, it's just like, yo, you want to go see this movie in theaters because it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I guess by that definition, I definitely would pick Top Gun. Part of me was like, I hope this is better than the first one because I thought the first one was okay.
Yeah, the first one, I don't know why it's so memorable.
Yeah, it just, I wasn't alive in the 80s when that came out, so, I think that I probably would have liked it more if I was alive and saw it in the theaters then, because everyone who loves it was alive in the 80s and was like, oh, it was such a great movie experience. Mm-hmm. So seeing Top Gun Maverick in the movie theaters, I was like, yeah, this is a great movie experience. Part of me is wondering if I just was so surprised at how much, like, the movie experience was wonderful. Would I have felt the same way about it had I watched it on my television at home? I don't know. But I'm glad I didn't.
I think watching it in theaters is important, but I think the movie is so well crafted that, like, even if I was watching it at home, I think I would have definitely still enjoyed I probably would have regretted it. Like, it's just like, oh, I wish I had seen this in theaters.
This is so good. We should have seen this in theaters.
But I think even at home, it is still worth a watch. So once I go streaming, I think it is definitely like you watch it. Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, it's the highest grossing film of the year, which to me is exciting that it's not a Marvel film or a Disney property. Mm-hmm. That just makes me feel like we're getting back to where we used to be with movies. And
are we? It's still a sequel.
The reign of at least the superhero craze is maybe dying down, since also people are very disappointed recently in Marvel content.
Yeah, cumulatively, I think
everything that rises must fall. So I'm excited because I'm like, yes, bring in other stuff. And again, even though Top Gun Maverick is a sequel, it's still more original than some of the other stuff that comes out. And originality has been kind of a trend this year. You went and saw The Northman. We just recently went and saw Nope. Everything Everywhere All at Once is now the highest grossing independent film.
Which I plan on maybe watching it hopefully soon.
Yeah.
It got re-released.
It did. That's right. How exciting. So I'm excited for that. My other big surprise would probably be Elvis. I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping it was good. And I was surprised with how much it stayed with me and how much I really enjoyed it, to the point where I forced us to do an episode on it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't force us. I mean, we just needed an episode to make, and I was just like, sure.
I performed really good Inception on you.
Yeah, you were planting that seeds.
No, Elvis was fine. I think Elvis kind of, but to be honest, I haven't thought about Elvis since we covered it on the podcast. It's not been necessarily a movie that I've been like. Maybe it is because I've been watching.
Do you think about movies a lot?
Sometimes,
like afterwards?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about Nope.
Exactly. Yeah, Nope is one that has stuck with me. Granted, it's only been like a week and a half, I think, right? So it's not that long, but I am like, that's another one that I would consider watching again in theaters because I think it was I think it's my favorite. I think I said it last week. It's my favorite Jordan Peele movie so far.
You did not say that after we watched out of the movie theater, so that's.
I didn't say that in the theaters as I thought about it, and I said it last week in the podcast. I think it ranks as my top favorite film that he has made. I think Get Out is his next best one, but I think Nope. I think just the performances. I think just like the very, very. It was just like very subdued storytelling, just very, very.
Yeah. It was actually very it was a good time at the movies. It felt like a blockbuster, nice summer fun movie. I mean, a little more scary, but.
Yeah, I don't know if it felt like that way. I think it just felt like just a good, solid film. Like I was just like, it felt like good sci-fi.
So that's it. It's been a while since I've seen good original sci-fi. It's also been a while since I sat down in a movie theater and wasn't 100% sure of what I was about to watch. Nowadays, they put it's either a remake, a reboot or a revival, a sequel, or they put the entire fucking movie in the trailer. They didn't do that for Nope.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that was exciting. I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
I don't understand why they do that. Just the pet peeve. It's like whole. It's like you basically give the summary of the whole movie in the previews. I know what to expect.
That's when you know a movie they don't have faith in the movie.
Well, when we went, I forgot what movie I went to see in theaters, but it was Ambulance. That trailer
LA.
is the entire plot.
I was just like, this would have been interesting to see unfold and not know.
But now I know by the end of it, just okay, and you're showing me parts of the ending. I could tell this is the ending because of where we are.
I'm just like,
We almost covered that too.
We did. Maybe
Yes.
one day.
Maybe one day. Maybe when we backtrack. All right. Biggest disappointment of the last 12 episodes.
Oh, that's easy. Eddie, do you know? What? Do you don't have one?
I don't have one, but I want to say Chippendale was my surprise.
Oh, Chippendales.
Nice.
Okay, that would
It
be
was
my
my
other surprise for sure.
That's what I thought you were
I
going to say.
didn't
Yeah.
realize how much I enjoyed it. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
how very fun it was, and it had like a solid story.
Yeah. It was. I would watch it again, actually.
Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah,
cute. That was a
I'll
cute
definitely
film.
watch it with kids.
Oh, yeah. I want to show it to like my sister
Yeah.
and her husband. I'm like, guys, I think you're going to like the references. I think you're going to laugh. I laughed. Like, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah, Chippendales is that's another solid film, and I was also that was one where I was just like, oh, if I had gone to see this in theaters, I don't think I would have been upset. Like, I think I would have been like, yeah, worth it.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
kind of
you know?
upset that they didn't release it in theaters, but whatever. Can't
So
win 'em
yeah,
all.
no, I could tell you, yeah, the biggest disappointment was Firestarter.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
really? I wasn't
Firestarter
expecting
was
that.
Really, what do you think was worse than Firestarter?
Well, I didn't listen to your Obi-Wan episode, but did you guys like Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, never
Yes.
mind.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I brought up all the complaints that I've seen from the fanboys, but I don't.
Mm.
I don't subscribe to those complaints. I think Obi-Wan was a solid show.
Yeah, looking at the list right now, nothing was like terrible other than Firestarter.
Oh, I was
Firestarter
gonna
was
say it's just like
terrible.
Firestarter was
That's
so bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but other than that, like it's not like it's a tie between this and this. Like the content's been pretty good, actually. It's been like at least maybe we aren't
Passable.
expecting too much from these things. Or,
Yeah, like even so,
know.
Father of the Bride, the new one, I thought was going to be like a disaster, and I kind of came out saying just like, oh, I personally liked it a little. I think it was. I relate. I saw a little bit of my culture reflected in this film.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I would definitely say to like people who, I'm like to my Cuban family, I'm like, oh, you should watch Father of the Bride. I think
You
you're
might
gonna
enjoy it.
really
Yeah,
enjoy
it's true.
it. Yeah.
Just
I
don't
mean,
understand why Gloria Stefan didn't sing, but
yeah, seriously.
Right, I know.
Biggest disappointment, like biggest fail. But I also think that some other things were just kind of like, whatever. Like I did not agree that Jurassic Park was as fine as you guys thought. I thought it actually was really draggy and really long and really stupid.
I agree with stupid, but I think it was still enjoyable.
Enjoyable,
And
stupid.
I think I genuinely, like I think when I came out of that panel of Pretty Much Pop, we were all in agreement. Like it's just like, yeah, it was dumb, but it gave us what we wanted in a Jurassic Park movie. So it's just
That's
like, oh well.
yeah. It gave us what we wanted, and then it did it over and over again until I was like, okay, I don't want this anymore.
I
I
mean, I
feel.
understand where you're coming from. I just think it's a mass-produced. It's a Hollywood Jurassic Park film. What are we expecting?
It was a spectacle for sure. Which is one of the things Nope centers on, by the way, the spectacle.
Mhm.
Yes,
We're all addicted
yes.
to it. So again, see Nope, guys. We haven't covered it, but
Yes.
see Nope. I was just on Pretty Much Pop, and I discussed Nope.
Oh,
So,
did you?
yes,
Oh, look at
so-
that.
Yeah, the other podcast that we're.
What did they? What's it called? What was the consensus? No, you know what? Let all you
Tune in and listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one for me was Lightyear. But again, my big thing in that podcast was that Pixar is at a level and has established that the content that you receive from Pixar is going to be great. And when they don't deliver something that is great, they merely deliver something that is good. It's a huge disappointment because you work yourself up for being like, oh, this is Pixar. This is going to be wonderful. This is going to be one of the best movies of the year. So when it doesn't meet that expectation, it's just bound to be a disappointment.
Right.
By no means is Lightyear bad, but it's just disappointing that it was kind of like Pixar makes grade A quality. They don't make B minus. So in that respect, it was disappointing. But,
I mean, all tides must go down, right?
oh, what? Tides?
Isn't that what you said? Like all tides fall or something?
Yeah. What goes up must come down.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
That
Right?
kinda
I mean,
shit,
Disney.
yeah.
Maybe Disney's in for their reckoning.
Maybe. I don't
And
know.
long time coming, especially
Seriously.
after like what they did with the Don't Say Gay bill. So
Sons of bitches.
yeah,
Even
like
though
it's like
I was just at Disney World.
I
for
was
work.
gonna say it's just like how dare you? Like how much did you give the mouse while you were over there? Like I know
Well,
you're there
so,
for work.
I was
but,
there for
like,
work.
How much souvenirs did you buy? And how much?
I bought stuffies for my baby, my niece and nephew. But
did
like
you sneak in food
to where?
to Disney World?
No, I did not sneak in food.
See, so you given money to that mouse.
The only thing I ended up buying was a poncho because I didn't want to get soaked. I had a free pass to Disney World. My room in Coronado Springs was paid for. My flight was paid for. All my meals were fed to me. So
well, all right. If all the meals were fed to you, that's fine.
I had to spend the money on the getting Eeyore.
Overpaid on the poncho, I bet
you.
Oh
my God. I don't even want to tell you how much I paid for that.
If you listen to Zizi Food blog, you would have known, always bring a poncho. That's her literal number one rule.
If I would have listened to the people who would have hired me, they already actually had a tote bag ready for me. I just was so excited to go to the parks that I didn't grab the tote bag. Anyway, moving on. All right, so biggest surprise, most disappointing. What do you think deserves a second glance? Something that we watched and we covered it, and you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should watch that again. Maybe I was kind of unfair to it, or maybe I need to see it in a different light. Are you kind of like looking at it and being like, huh? It kind of sounds like Queer as Folk might be that for you.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was going to say. Like, Queer as Folk for me would be that one. Because...
like, now you know what to expect.
Yeah, like...
So you could process it without being... Like, for me, I could process some of the characters and know, like, I know, okay, this is how this character is, so let me just kind of enjoy the ridiculousness, of it.
Yeah, but I think Queer as Folk is... Yeah, I gotta say, props to the guys from Gayish. They really opened my eyes here a little, because I mean, they're right. Like, yes, like this... a lot of this content was a little bit sexually explicit, but, like, that was part of, like, their tone that they were going for. Like, they're showing you what it's like to be queer and have a disability. They are showing you what it's like to be in a non-binary relationship where someone is non-binary, the other person is trans, and they're trying to start a family. They're showing you what it's like to be a sex worker, right? They're showing you what it's like to be they're showing you a version of trauma after a mass shooting, which I think, again, like, I think
that should have been the focus of the whole season.
And I think that's the thing with the thing with the show is just, like, I think they drop the ball at times, but like overall, I think they were trying to accomplish something. And then the other thing is, when you put into perspective the fact that, like, queer writers, they were really focusing on trying to tell these queer stories themselves. Like, this is, like, made for queer people by queer people, and we don't really get that much content like that is brought to you by Hollywood directly, right? Not like independent. This is straight up, this is Peacock. So I think for that, I think it's worth going back to Queer as Folk, and, like, kind of being a little less harsh. I mean, the truth is, me and Eddie binged that show, despite how cringeworthy it was at time, because I think overall, I think it was an easy watch, but at the same time, it's just like, I think maybe it's also important for, if you're a queer audience member, to, like, just support other queer artists and stuff. And I think that's what you get out of this, because I think the cast is also, if not entirely, predominantly queer, you know?
Yeah. Which, okay. Well,
and it was definitely important for me to see a Latino character, gay man, that wasn't one of the more prime characters. So not a side character, but you have more of a prime character, and have, like, a Latino character, gay, sexually active, trying to figure shit out, and not the one that's kind of, like, on the side or the boy toy.
Yeah. You know, now that you guys mention it, and I look at the list, when I look at representation of LGBTQIA, 2 of these, maybe 3, have portrayals of people in our community. Maybe 2 of them have Latino.
What are the 3?
So Firestarter, no. Chippendale, no.
I mean, we could argue.
We could argue. We could also argue about Top Gun Maverick.
No, yeah.
But Top Gun Maverick, no.
Yeah. But not Top Gun Maverick.
Time Traveler's Wife, not really.
I mean, there was that homoerotic scene.
There was one homoerotic scene.
But no, yeah. Otherwise, not a non-binary, not a queer story.
No. Jurassic Park? No.
Oh,
those dinosaurs, though.
Yeah, we had a drag queen dinosaur. No, but it also turned out the pilot, she was supposed to be bi.
She was supposed to be, yes. Always reduced to the secondary character.
Yeah, like, not just a secondary character, but, like, how would we know that?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
How would we?
Yeah.
It's just thrown in there.
Oh wait, no, because she flirted with Bryce Dallas Howard. That's what it was. Okay.
Oh, you remember the movie better than I do.
Yeah.
Lightyear does, right? And that was actually one of the big controversies of Lightyear was
Mhm.
that there was a same-sex kiss in the movie, which when I watched the movie, I didn't even realize it happened because it was so brief and it was so integral to the story that I just was like, oh, people are kissing. I didn't think of it as a gay kiss.
Right.
But his best friend is a lesbian, and and you see her, but again, the way so it's very minimal. It's not central to the story.
I've listened to the Ben Shapiro clips. I'm aware.
Okay, there you go. Oh, you listened to the Ben Shapiro clips, but you didn't.
Well, I
listen
listened to the
episode.
clips. I listened to the clips that criticize Ben Shapiro.
Oh,
so they like
okay,
play
there
his
you go.
clips. So I'm listening to people making fun of him.
So Lightyear, technically, it's a pass because of the controversy.
Sure.
Queer as Folk, the most absolutely.
It was
Father of the Bride, it does.
we have some.
We had
I think she.
the sister
I think the
was.
sister's, is she non-binary? She's non-binary is what she refers to herself. I think, right?
I think so. She was definitely, either bisexual, pansexual, or non-binary
Maybe
in that
that's what
sense
it was,
because
yeah.
she had that somewhat of a
right.
relationship with that maid of honor. Elvis, no.
No.
There's a scene of a boy watching TV. That's it. Beavis and Butthead, no. And Obi-Wan, no.
Obi-Wan is bi. What are you talking about?
No, stop.
But yeah, only 2.5, 3 maybe.
Yeah.
That's pretty disappointing. I mean,
Yep.
representation has come a long way, but then when you look at the list like this, I'm like, wow, of course you're going to react that way to Queer as Folk because we just watched how many weeks in a row where there wasn't that. And
it
I
was
live
Pride Month.
Yeah, it's Pride Month, and like, look, we live our lives day to day as POCs, as people of this community. Like, seeing that reflected is really important to us. If you're one of those people who just like roll your eyes and is like, whatever, they don't have to always be. It's like, well, when we see it, it means a lot to us.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
And that's where I
So-
think Queer as Folk definitely comes into play. I think it's, like it was unafraid of being in your face with how queer the show was.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, okay,
You
I'll
love
watch
it. You love it in
again.
theory.
I love it in theory. But I also, I can only watch a TV show that moves a certain way. I don't like television, so that's my excuse. Okay, I think that just about covers it. If there was anything that should have been gay, what should have been gay?
Chippendales.
Chippendale? Oh, not Top Gun? Maverick?
I mean, who are you gonna make gay? You're not gonna make Tom Cruise's
Maverick.
character gay. So
Why not?
Because
It's
we
not.
clearly established that he's very heterosexual.
Yeah, well, he's worked really, really hard to do that. so I
maybe
guess
if
that
we
would be
maybe
undoing all
Goose's
of it.
son, I guess, could have been.
Oh, he could have been gay.
Gay,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
guess.
that would be cool.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he have a love interest? I don't even remember.
Not really.
No, it wasn't
No.
important.
I mean, the movie was pretty. Outside of like Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly, the movie was pretty asexual.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I had this idea that instead of Father the Bride, to Father the Groom, Right?
Ooh.
where it is a Latino family, right? Like this one, where you kind of have, they're coming from kind of like that's still generational, struggling with their son being gay
Mhm.
and Catholic Church and blah, blah, blah. And it's like this whole dynamic is they're planning a wedding and it's like father and son kind of have to reconcile certain things they never got to. They have to talk finally about things they never talked to when he first came out.
Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
So-
that's
Sounds emotional.
no, but at the same time too, you have the background characters, which are always like the cousins that always get into antics, and they kind of add the comedy relief. And Abuela and Tia.
Yeah.
Would you still try to keep it to the formula of Father of the Bride, or would you just do away with the formula entirely? Because there's a formula.
There is, yes.
So let's see. I don't know. Just mix it up.
Okay.
A nice balance of both of new stuff, but like callbacks to the other films.
Yeah.
That's always nice. Yeah.
All right, I can see that. Maybe
Well,
make
I can
it
see it.
mother. Make it mother of the bride of the groom, because I feel like the mother.
No, yeah, I want to see
You want to see
It-
father,
yeah,
son.
Yeah, and the whole Latino relationship between father and son,
Okay.
which we
Yeah.
all know is very tough. Can be
Mm.
very tough, and especially if you're a gay man.
Why is it? No, that just reminds me. Why is it that like a lot of Hispanic families end up becoming matriarchies? I think they're patriarch. Is it the fathers? The fathers die young, I guess, in most Hispanic. That's like a broad stroke I'm painting here, but I feel like by the end, Hispanic families become matriarchies. No, or am I making that up?
Yeah,
you guys think about that?
Yeah, we'll think about that. I also
Yeah.
think that a lot of us just have unfortunate things happen to our fathers, whether they pass away early or they abandon us, stuff like that.
Yeah,
whereas
right.
our
But I
moms
think
don't.
I think in general, Latina women are just very strong, especially when it
Yes.
comes to keeping the family together. Like
Mhm.
they'll fight tooth and nail to make sure the family is together and the family is doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
Disney
know?
just did a film about that called Encanto.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
well,
it's true.
there's you could also see it in a TikTok video or Vine, or it's been around for a while,
Okay.
of an
Vine?
alligator coming near a woman's dog, and she takes the chancla out on him.
Yeah,
It's just
that's so
Don't
funny.
mess with her. Don't mess with her.
Don't mess with the chancla.
All right, well, that's it, guys. I think we dished enough about the last kind of 12 episodes. We do encourage you to go back and listen to those episodes if you haven't already.
Mhm.
And we encourage you to reach out and share your opinion on this episode, on any episode, on just whatever you feel like. Ways you can contact us: you can email us, remakesrebootsrevivals@gmail.com. We are on Instagram. Our handle is @remakesrebootsrevivals. We are on Twitter. Our handle is @remakespodcast. You can find us on Facebook if you search for Remakes, Reboots, and Revivals. You can find us on YouTube and like and subscribe our page if you do. And we are available on all podcasting platforms, as I'm sure you are aware. But if you are on Apple Podcasts, if you leave us a review and a ranking, these things really do help us out, and we would kindly appreciate it. Last but not least, we have a voicemail service that we would love to collect a bunch of them and play them in an episode. So what's the number for that, Rolando?
The number is 862-248-2326. That's 862-248-2326.
Well, I'm going to miss you guys. We will be back September. So enjoy your
See
August.
you
Mhm.
in September.
Do you remember? That's the only September song I know.
Okay. And what better note to end the summer with?
Yes, so we will see you in September. And until next time, stay unoriginal.